I've covered a lot of Nintendo Switch games on this channel, but I realized I've never done a must-own video showing you guys the games that I feel are must-own Nintendo Switch games. So today, we are going to fix that problem. I'm going to give you guys my 15 must-own Nintendo Switch games, but I decided to kind of switch it up a little bit, no pun intended. I decided to do 5 indie games, 5 Nintendo first-party games, and 5 third-party games for the Nintendo Switch that I feel are must-own. So what are the must-own Nintendo Switch games? Which games need to be in your collection? Sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's jump into my list of 15 must-own Nintendo Switch games.
Hey, RGT85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my god, it's Stevie Richards! So starting things off, we are going to talk about indie games. Now there are a ton of different indie games for the Nintendo Switch, but these are the 5 that really stand out to me. Oftentimes, when games get overhyped, it sort of sours me on them prior to jumping into the game. And The Messenger was so highly talked about, I thought, there's no way it was going to live up to the hype. Well, I was wrong. The Messenger is a side-scrolling 2D game similar to games like Ninja Gaiden or Strider, but about halfway through the game it opens up into a Metroidvania style of gameplay. The writing is great and very funny. The graphics shift from 8-bit to 16-bit, which actually impacts the gameplay in the world around you. And speaking of the gameplay, it's insanely smooth as well. You'll be hacking and slashing your way through interesting locales and fun boss battles. At first, I definitely had my doubts, but The Messenger more than delivers. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night may have been the game that was funded via crowdfunding, but honestly, it's going to be hard to top Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, an offshoot 8-bit classic Castlevania-style game that was released for the Nintendo Switch. If you've ever wanted a proper sequel to Castlevania 3 on the NES, well, this is it. The game features multiple characters to play as, all with unique abilities, fantastic level design, and a clean 8-bit aesthetic. It pays perfect homage to the original style of Castlevania games, and with multiple endings and secrets to uncover, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon will give you a ton of bang for your buck. Although Fast RMX was released very early in the Nintendo Switch's life cycle, it's probably one of the most impressive looking games on the system, period. Fast RMX is a racing game combining elements of Wipeout, Extreme G, and F-Zero. The game offers blistering fast racing across a multitude of individual courses, all while looking silky smooth doing it. Although it's technically a Wii U port, the game features improved visuals, frame rate, and controls over its predecessor, along with some additional content as well. Fast RMX also features online racing, so there's a ton of content to enjoy, and it's seriously one of the most visually impressive Nintendo Switch games. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is a newer Nintendo Switch title, but after spending some time with it recently, I can honestly say I was blown away by this game. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is a 2D platformer in the style of the classic Wonder Boy games that released for the Sega Master System. The big draw to Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, though, has to be the visual style of the game, which more resembles a Saturday morning cartoon more so than a video game. While playing the game, you take on various character forms, all with unique abilities and actions, and the gameplay is very fluid and responsive. I'm absolutely in love with this game, and I think you will be too, as Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is a true gem in the Nintendo Switch's library. Roguelike games were a genre I never really explored until Dead Cells came along on the Nintendo Switch, and it pretty much set the bar of excellence for that genre. Dead Cells is a game in which you will die, a lot, but when you die, you return to the start of the game, but along the way you receive various abilities that you can then use for subsequent playthroughs of the game. The game features a randomly generated level layout, so every time you play the game it feels familiar, but enemies, items, and pickups are all in different places, along with the layout of the level itself. The action is insanely smooth, with elements of hack and slash, magic, and much more. It's a pretty tough game, but the more you play it, the deeper you get into the game, which gives it insane replay value. Next up, I want to talk about first-party Nintendo games that you absolutely must own for your Nintendo Switch. I'm sure a lot of you guys already own these titles, but I do want to go over my 5. The reason you bought a Nintendo Switch on day one was of course because of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. But in case for some reason you don't own the game yet, let me give you some reasons. Breath of the Wild ditches the previous formula of Zelda games that had an emphasis on dungeons and instead offers an open world experience in which Link can explore at his own pace. Because of this exploration, it's one of the deepest games on the Nintendo Switch, offering hundreds of hours of fun with additional DLC as well. While the story might be a bit light in terms of previous Zelda games because of the gameplay style, you actually end up writing your own story while playing this game. The combat is great, there's secrets all over the place, and the visual style is outstanding, making it a must-own Nintendo Switch game. But I think you already knew that. While I usually prefer Street Fighter when it comes to my fighting games, the crazy and chaotic party-like atmosphere of Smash Bros. Is always a fun time, and Smash Bros. Ultimate is definitely the most robust Smash experience to date. Featuring all of the characters from previous Smash games, including a whole slew of new characters such as Simon Belmont from Castlevania, Smash Bros. Ultimate is literally brimming with tons of content. The spirit mode in the game is strangely addictive, trying to collect various spirits from gaming franchises throughout the years. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is heading to be the best-selling Nintendo Switch game ever, and truly celebrates gaming throughout the 80s to present times in terms of roster and in sheer fun. Mario Kart 8 was one of the best Wii U games, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe continues that trend by being one of the best Switch games. Featuring fun kart-based racing, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe features all of the content from the Wii U version of the game, including previous DLC, and also offers in some new characters and modes as well. The Wii U version of the game did not have a proper battle mode, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe remedies this with arguably the most fun battle mode in a Mario Kart game to date. Throw in some online gameplay as well, and you have a complete package that should be on every Nintendo Switch owner's system. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker may be one of my most guilty gaming pleasures, but I for some reason absolutely love this game. You play as either Toad or Toadette depending on the level, and your main goal in this interesting puzzle game is to get a gold star at the end of the level. Of course, there are bonuses within the levels that you should also seek out as well. The game originally released on the Wii U, but didn't really sell all that great, which is a shame. It's a budget game, but the Mario-style graphics and additional Super Mario Odyssey levels added into this version of the game make it a must-own for puzzle fans in my opinion. And speaking of Super Mario Odyssey is still my favorite Nintendo Switch game to date, and if you own a Nintendo Switch but don't own this game, I kinda question your sanity a little bit. Super Mario Odyssey is a 3D platformer in which Mario must stop Bowser from attempting to marry Peach, because I guess that's how marriage works. Odyssey feels like an extension of Super Mario 64 in terms of level design, with big open levels with tons of secrets and moons to uncover, the latter allowing you to progress through the game. The levels are fun and creative, Mario gets a ton of outfits and abilities to use, and the game is just insanely fun. It also features the best level in a Mario video game ever, New Donk City. Don't argue with me on that. And finally, there's been a lot of third-party games on the Nintendo Switch. This was probably the most difficult portion for me to single out 5 games that I really enjoyed, but I think these 5 games are absolute must-owns. Obviously, there's going to be an RPG on the third-party list, and many people will put Octopath Traveler as their must-own RPG, which makes perfect sense. However, I prefer more action RPG games, and Ys 8 is one of my favorite action RPG games of all time now. After a ship you are on crashes onto a mysterious island, your goal as Adol is to find other survivors and try to escape the island. You quickly realize this is no normal island though, as huge monsters and dinosaur-like creatures known as primordials inhabit the land. The combat is the real star of this game though, allowing you to pick up to 3 characters in your party to dish out fast and furious attacks and magical abilities, and you can switch out characters on the fly. The island holds a ton of secrets, the story gets progressively more serious as you go along, and there's even a big plot twist and gameplay change about halfway through the game that really adds to the experience. Don't sleep on Ys 8, it's an absolutely fantastic game. Sports games are very subjective, and if you don't like the sport, you probably won't like the game. But I have to add NBA 2K19 to my must-own list for one simple reason. 2K takes this game very seriously. NBA 2K19 features some of the best, if not the best, realistic style of visuals seen on the Nintendo Switch, coming pretty damn close to the PS4 version of the game in terms of graphics and in content. It's a basketball simulation, so there really isn't much to say about the game. Yes, the career mode is littered with virtual currency issues and pay to unlock stuff, which does suck, but I buy my basketball games to play with teams and players in the NBA, not try to make my 5'10" ass an NBA star. And NBA 2K19 showcases what a third-party developer can do in terms of ports on the Nintendo Switch. Although Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is technically a 3DS port, the game is insanely good and one of my favorite games on the platform. Monster Hunter follows a pretty standard formula. You take a quest, you slay massive monsters, you get loot, and you make your character stronger. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is the perfect balance in terms of previous games in the series' gameplay, featuring the most monsters in a Monster Hunter game to date. Battles are very intense and long-lasting. The game features online gameplay with up to 3 other characters, and there's so many different tasks and missions that you won't get bored anytime soon. There's a somewhat steep learning curve if you've never played a Monster Hunter game before, but once you understand how everything works, you'll be spending a ton of time with this game. Let's be honest, Starlink Battle for Atlas completely flopped at trying to reinvigorate the Toys to Life genre of games, which honestly is a genre that I could care less about. Starlink on the Nintendo Switch, though, was the best version of this game released because it includes Star Fox, and honestly, it really feels almost like a new Star Fox game instead of a new franchise. Featuring gameplay elements from games like No Man's Sky, Starlink on the Nintendo Switch seamlessly integrates Fox and his team into gameplay right from the start, offering fun boss battles, interspace dogfights, and much more. There's even a Star Wolf storyline included in the Switch game, and considering this game is only like $30 now most places, it is a must-own game for the Nintendo Switch. Yes, it gets a bit repetitive at times, but Starlink Battle for Atlas is definitely a game that Nintendo Switch owners should own. The Nintendo Switch might not have much in terms of first-person shooter games, but it has the main one that matters, Doom. I originally played and loved this game on the PS4, and Doom on the Nintendo Switch brings the fast-paced, bloody demon blasting action in the palm of your hand, and a fantastic port of this game. The game has actually received 2 updates to the game as well to add in things like gyroscope controls and improve visuals, and it shows the amount of love and care that went into the Switch version of the game. The game also features online gameplay, and while the community isn't as big as it once was, I've been playing online for the past week or so and have no issues finding matches. A great port of a game that probably shouldn't even run on the Nintendo Switch to begin with, Doom is a fantastic first-person shooter game that fans of mature-rated titles definitely need to go ahead and purchase. Alright, and those are my 15 must-own Nintendo Switch games. We've got some indies on there, third parties, and of course first-party Nintendo titles. I want to hear what you guys think of this list and what games you would add or maybe subtract in your list. So let me know in the comments section down below, and thank you guys for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Check out other videos on the channel as well, and as always, I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.